Chris, your team ready to go? It's one of the bigger games of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. Good to be playing in it. First versus second, 2 weeks before the finals, so fair bit at stake. I think our players are looking forward to it. We've found a way to win the last couple of weeks. We're obviously looking to improve our form. We'll need to. But yeah, I think we're in good shape going into the game.
They've got a few injuries and a few they've decided to leave out. How does that change or does it change the way you prepare for the game at all with some different personnel to face?
Not really. Obviously they've got a few out. But what I find at this time of the year is you've always got hungry blokes in the reserves who want an opportunity. So they generally come in and play their roles really well. So our expectation is that we're going to play a Collingwood team tomorrow night that's going to bring out their very best effort, and we're going to have to play really well to beat them. But I've seen that with our team at times. You've got some good players out, and you bring some guys in from the twos, and they've been breaking their necks to get an opportunity for a few weeks, and they don't let you down. So whatever Collingwood players run out on the ground tomorrow night, we know they're going to be going flat out.
Chris, who are the same contenders to come in for Jack?
I'll probably leave that until selection tonight, mate. I know you're interested. I guess the decisions we have to make is, do we replace Jack, who is a tall, with a tall, or whether we go a little bit smaller in our forward line. The team we picked tonight will give us sort of probably both those options in a way. Don't want to give it away too early.
Will that depend on a week by week on who you're playing and how they match up?
Might. I just haven't thought past tomorrow night. So we'll just look at each team as it comes along, what you think you particularly need in a game. But it will be week to week. We're not going to lock in and say that's the way we're going to go. We just want to have a look at a few things.
With the injury news as well, with Daniel Rich in there as well, I mean, he's already drawn himself from selection, now to have an injury as well at this stage of his career. Is he still seen as having a future here at the club, or is that still sort of in the works?
No, they're the sort of things you work out at the end of the season. I mean, what Daniel's priority now is to get himself right from his hamstring injury, and he's hell-bent on doing that. He wants to make sure that he's available for us when we come to play in finals, so that if we need him, that he's available. So that's his priority at the moment. We're not thinking beyond this year at this point in time.
But the timing of this matchup as well, is it almost, with this run to the finals, almost perfect timing to get a chance like this to really test yourself against a heavyweight like that?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I feel like we've been tested every week lately. I mean, the teams that we've been playing against, they may not be sitting up the top of the ladder, but they've been desperate to push themselves into the eight. Adelaide, a great example of that last week. Fremantle the same the week before. Geelong the same the week before that. Gold Coast the same. So we've played a lot of teams lately that are desperate, maybe not to finish top four, but to get into the finals. So we've had good preparation for the game tomorrow night, I think, and tomorrow night and then St Kilda next week gives us even more. So they're good games to be playing coming into finals.
Saying that, Chris, though, this will be a different type of test, won't it? They don't have that desperation about them, but they're a class act. You don't want to get into a sort of a last 5 minute shootout.
They'll have that desperation about them because they will want to beat us, because we've had a bit of the wood on them for the last few times, even though most of those games have been played at the Gabba. So they'll be fired up. They won't want to drop this game. They started to get back into some form last week, and they'll want to continue with that, because you can't beat good form coming into finals.
You said at the start you will have to play better. What areas are you, I don't know, concerned about, or areas that you're hoping to improve?
It's just your overall game, It's like I feel like the last few weeks we've had probably played 60, 65, 70% of the game where we've played really well, and we just had some quiet patches. It's probably more consistency with what we're doing across the 4 quarters. Understanding though that in these games where teams are desperate, there's always momentum swings. But for me, that's it. Like we had some great patches last week. Same against Fremantle. So yeah, just finishing off our work and playing better for longer.
Is the fourth quarter's an issue?
Well, maybe you could argue that they are, because teams have tried to mow us down. But I think it's, we've had those leads at 3/4 time of 25 points or 20 points, and the opposition know one goal, they score one goal and they're back in the game, then they get their tails up. And as I say, we've been playing against teams that are desperate to make finals or to climb up the ladder, so it's understandable. But the bottom line is we lost a game against Melbourne that if we had managed better, we may have won. The last 3 games where we've been challenged in last quarters, we've managed that time particularly well, even though the opposition have been coming at us, especially in terms of Geelong did and obviously Adelaide did last week. The week before we had to chase Fremantle and get in front and then hold on. So all a little bit different, but we've been able to stand up in those pressure situations. So I understand why people are interested in final quarters, but you know, we have other very, very good quarters that nobody wants to talk about. We always focus on the negative. So the bottom line is the main thing is that you finish in front when the siren goes.
Have you got any concern over the 2 shorter breaks back to back?
Probably had more of a concern last week because I think I could tell everyone was pretty tired from that Perth trip. I think, not playing the violin here, but it's a 6-hour trip over and a 5-hour trip back, and it was a 6-day turnaround. I think that takes a little bit of a toll on you. We hardly trained last week because we were just trying to recover. May explained the slow start and the tired finish. So, but no, the boys have slept in their own beds for the last 12 days. So I think they're pretty keen to get going. I'll be surprised if that catches up with us tomorrow night. I certainly won't be using it as any excuse.
Chris, top 4's already locked in.
Yep.
Is it now more important? Is top 2 a target, or is it more important that you're playing at your best going into the finals?
It's probably more important that you're playing your best, but you know, I've always said to you, we want to finish as high as we can. It's a great effort by the boys. I think 4th time in 5 years that we finished top 4. Get the double chance, that's the main priority at the start of the year. There's a top 2 spot up for grabs, and if we can get it, we're going to go after it. We're pretty keen to get it. So, but if we don't, it won't be the be-all and end-all either, which I've said many times.
Kitty a chance for tomorrow night?
Yeah, so he's back and available. He's trained all week. Did a lot of contact work this week, so there's no drama there. So he'll be seriously considered for the team.
He brings another dimension to your team, doesn't he? Things that he can do.
Yeah, he's ball use and his ability to read the play and give us good rebound, and he's also a really good interceptor, hard to play against. So and he's been a pillar in our team for quite a few years now. So yeah, he helps us.
Just one on Jack Gunston. How do you assess him from now? I've noticed that, like, when he got injured, it was sort of might be available for the first final. Like, what's the progression here?
Oh, for me, I think it's just a week by week thing. See how he's going. You know, he's in a brace at the moment. He's not doing much, so you know, he's going to not only have to get out of that brace, but start to train and start to move well before we can consider him. But I know with Jack, he'll give himself every chance to be okay later on. Once we get to finals, I wouldn't expect him to play before then.
I'm just with Will Ashcroft as well. So has he got through his surgery all good, and just how has he been since having his injury setback? Yeah,
so he's had his surgery. I think Will's due back up here next week to start his rehab, but it'd be good to have him back around the footy club. It's obviously been a challenging time for him mentally. You know, you've got a young man, you've had a great first season, you play 18 games, your team's going pretty well, they're going to play in the finals, and then that's taken away from him. So obviously, mentally that's tough, and I dare say he'll still be dealing with that for the rest of the season, because he'll watch the team run out and he'll just want to be a part of it. But he's got a good family around him, he's got a good club around him, and pretty soon he'll lose himself in the process of recuperating from his surgery.
When you say he's due back here, so has he gone back to family or anything like that?
Yeah, well, so he had the operation in Melbourne, and he stayed down there because there's not much he can do up here until this week. So, you know, obviously after surgery, there's swelling and all sorts of things that needs to be kept under control. So we thought the better environment for him in that instance would be to be with his family.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks.